I'm Joe Kane. I'm Dan Kane.
I'm Sal Conca, and I'm Wayne Heckler.
And this is the Imperfect Podcast.
Don't forget to check us out at hecklerkane.com and download our episodes for free on iTunes and SoundCloud.
To the bumper.
Today's guest on the Imperfect Podcast is Robert Palmer Watkins, who currently plays Dillon Quartermaine on NBC's daytime series General Hospital. We talked to him about everything from his struggles as an actor to how landing the role on General Hospital changed his life. I think Robert was a really humble guy. His roots are on the East Coast from the Carolinas, and it just seems like he really is dedicated to the work. He really understands, what the fans want and what the commitment is to being a daytime actor on a soap.
Yeah, I think he appreciates everything from some of the struggles that he's had. He doesn't take it for granted, and it was interesting to talk to somebody about soap operas because we never do that.
Yeah, I gotta say I was not a soap opera fan ever, and but watching his work and watching how it's done, I mean, you can see how people are literally, I think, addicted to soaps. I mean, they've been around for decades. There's only, I think, 4 left, General Hospital being one of them. The character that he's playing and the shoes he has to fill is no joke. We also talk a lot about, the pressures he faced, that he faces in taking on this role. So let's talk to Robert and hear what he has to say. Hope you guys enjoy. Robert, welcome to the Imperfect Podcast. Thanks for hanging with us tonight.
Thank you, guys. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Quick shout out to Wendy Shepard over at Studio Matrix for hooking us up and making this happen.
Yes, thank you, Wendy. You're awesome.
Yes, she is, definitely. I know you're out in Hollywood, but you're originally an East Coast guy. What's your background like? Where'd you come from? Where'd you grow up?
So I was born in small little Salisbury, North Carolina. We moved to Winston-Salem when I was like 8 years old. And then when I was 12 years old, my dad got a job with AMF Bowling, and their corporate office is in Richmond, Virginia. So that was kind of good for me because Richmond is there's a lot of city and kind of the arts are very well. There's a lot going on with theater and art and stuff like that. So I kind of got involved in, I did my first play in high school. Before that, I did sports and stuff, and I did my first play, and I loved it. And that was kind of when I transitioned into thinking, maybe I'll be an actor. So, yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, so I've been out in LA now for 9 years, which is pretty crazy. Time flies.
Sure, and so I'm sure you've been doing the working actor deal, right? You've been in a number of different roles. We checked out your IMDb page. What was the first gig you landed out in Hollywood?
Man, I think the first, this is so funny, the first thing that I booked out of college. So when I moved here, I went to AMDA, which is the American Musical and Dramatic Academy, because my parents were like, you can move to LA, we get it, you want to do this, but we feel a lot better about it if you went and you started at a school or some type of, conservatory, just to get your bearings, meet some people. I was like, all right, cool. So the first 2 years I was out here, I actually didn't audition at all. But when I finally got out, obviously I started auditioning right away. And the first job that I booked was on a show called 1,000 Ways to Die. I don't know if you guys have seen that on Spike TV.
Yes.
Basically just ridiculous reenactments of ways that people have died in the past. The way that my character died was I slipped on a shard of glass while I was taking a shit. And the toilet, I'm using the bathroom, I stand up and I flush, and the toilet explodes. The lid on the back of the toilet explodes, shatters on the ground. I slip and I fall on a shard of glass. It goes into my asshole, and I
Holy shit.
That was my start to Hollywood, and my mom was super proud, obviously,
Of course. Of course. Who wouldn't be?
I've done so many random jobs as an actor. That one might take the cake, though, I gotta say.
I know. Well, Dan always loves a good shit story, so you just made his night.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm same boat. But no, it was a fun, I think I got like $100 or something, for the day.
Non-union or
it was non-union. I definitely was not SAG at the time, but you just kind of start doing little things. You meet different people, and each project gets a little bit bigger, a little bit more legit. But yeah, man, a lot of little roles like that when I first started out.
I bet. And now you were at a conservatory. You're also a musician.
Yes.
What do you play, or do you sing or write?
Write and sing and do a little bit of guitar and more producing type stuff. I live with 4 of my best friends, and we all kind of collaborate on different projects. Actually, 2 of my buddies I live with are probably going to get signed very soon. They have a band, and I'll kind of jump in and do a song with them, and then I'll mix it with some of the other friends I know that are actors and singers. So it's been really nice kind of having a platform now on a show where we have an audience that'll actually watch some of the stuff that I put out there. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't have any like official band or anything for myself right now. I'm kind of just collaborating with people as I see fit. And I'm starting to work on some original music as well. So
cool. Very cool. Well, and I'm sure the day job at General Hospital takes up a ton of time.
Yeah.
It's what were you going to say?
I was going to say it's interesting because it does. I mean, that's obviously my main focus, but it's actually a really nice schedule as an actor because, I mean, like today I went in and, my call time was 12 p.m. I went in and everything moves so fast on a soap that you pretty much, once you're called in, you do your blocking, then you go through hair and makeup, your wardrobe, get ready, then you have a couple hours before you shoot, and then you shoot the scene, you get one rehearsal, and then you shoot it. Mm-hmm. And, it could be 5 scenes, it could be 10 scenes, whatever, but you're out of there. Usually you're out of there within 5 hours. So today, my work day was 12 to, I got home around, I don't know, I think like 4:45 or something. So, and I mean, that's not how it always is. Some days you're there super early until late, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. But most days you actually are only there for your scenes, and that only takes a few hours. And you're not necessarily working every day.
Sure.
It just depends on your storyline. So like this week, I actually worked every day, but this coming week, I don't work at all because my character is, in the story on the show, my character is away. So I actually don't work next week. So it's nice because yes, I'm busy with it, but I actually have more time now than I did when I was a broke, struggling actor working 4 part-time jobs. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, you got the income and the freedom now, which is great. I think, most people probably, the general population, the most they probably know about soap opera actors is watching Joey Tribbiani on Friends. Right, so I think that's the closest.
I saw a clip. I don't know. I think I was on an airplane recently, and that was on one of the things you could watch, like the old episode of Friends.
Yeah.
And there was literally a scene where he was like on the soap on set, and they were making just jokes about soaps. And I was sitting next to one of my co-stars that's on the show with me, and we both just looked at each other and died laughing because it was so accurate. It's so funny.
Well, that's reassuring to know.
Yeah.
So let's go back a little bit. What was the casting process like to get the role on General Hospital? How many times did you have to audition? How long did it take to actually get a role on the show?
Yeah. Mark Teschner is the casting director for General Hospital. Really well-known casting director here in Hollywood. He's really, really good at what he does because he remembers people that he meets. He'll keep them kind of in the back of his head, and when a role comes up, he's just kind of got that eye and that mindset where he remembers, oh, there was something about that person that might be right, and it could be years later, and I think that takes a special type of person to kind of see that in people and then remember them down the road. So I went in for Mark when I first got out of college, and I was doing all those random acting jobs like I told you guys. I was super excited to go in. It was for a contract role. It went okay. It didn't go, I don't think I was right for the role, and I think I was a little young, and I don't think I was as trained as I needed to be yet. I was still kind of green. But it went well, and I could tell he liked me. And then he called me back in a couple years later for a different role. Went decent again, but nothing. Didn't hear anything. And then I guess a year or so went by, and I saw that he was doing a class at a studio here in Hollywood, and I was like, man, maybe I should just take that class and just get back in front of him again because I know he liked me, and I want, it'd be cool to develop a more personal relationship with him. So I actually took his class, and he remembered me right away, and we had a really good rapport, and I got his email, we stayed in touch, and then I guess this role came up for Dillon. I played Dillon Quartermaine on General Hospital. This role came up, and he remembered me, and he said, he called me in, and then I didn't hear anything for 3 months. Finally, I got another call back. Then I had to go see the producers. After I saw the producers, we had to do a screen test. And the screen test, that's the final thing you do during when you're getting cast for a role, is a screen test. And there were myself and 5 other guys screen testing. So even at that point, there's still 6 of us. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, gosh, I've already gone through the ringer for this many callbacks and met the producers, and there's still 6 of us. Really? Like, it's kind of disheartening when you get there. You're like, damn. But no, man, I mean, I got it. So it worked out. And Mark, he told me, he was like, yeah, I knew when this role came up, I had to get you in for it. So I guess he knew, he kept me in mind. And so it was a process, to answer your question. It is this long process most of the time. And then sometimes they change their mind, or they rewrite the role, or they decide not to bring that character on the show yet. So they hold off for a year. And I think that's what happened with my character, because I was called back and then there was several months where I didn't hear anything. So there's so many variables that go into it, into booking something. A lot of it, sometimes it doesn't even have to do with your talent. You're too tall next to the girl, or you're too short, or you're too white or not white enough, or, there's just so many things.
Yep. We've heard that from other actors as well. And, the relationships matter. What we've heard really counts is knowing what the casting director is looking for, doing enough research on the show to know what you need to bring to that character. How much research did you do, and how much did you know about General Hospital before going into audition? Did you
the funny thing is they're very secretive about who they're casting, when they're casting, what they're casting. And because I played Dillon Quartermaine, who is a legacy, the Quartermaines are one of the main legacy families on the show. And Dillon was on the show 10 years ago, played by Scott Clifton, who is now on Bold and Beautiful. So Dillon's return to General Hospital was a big deal, and they definitely did not want it leaked. So I didn't even know until I booked it that it was for Dillon Quartermaine. They had a fake name. I think it was Dustin or something. And my manager called me when I booked it, and he said, "You got it, and you're playing Dillon Quartermaine," which is cool to hear as an actor, because that name has some weight to it. You know what I mean? And it's been amazing. But yeah, it's very secretive. I thought I was auditioning for a brand new character named Dustin. It turned out it was Dillon.
Yeah. Is it a lot of pressure playing a role with such history?
There is, because you want to honor what the character means to the show, and you want to kind of honor what the actor that played. Like, I wanted to honor what Scott had brought to the character, because he's a great actor, and he kind of originated the role. So I definitely wanted to keep kind of some of the stuff and the quirks and some of the sarcasm that he brought to the character, but I also wanted to make it my own, and it's been 10 years since he's been on the show, so I think he would be a different person now. The character, the reason he left the show storyline wise is he went away to LA to pursue a directing and acting career, which is kind of cool, because I feel like that, right? And he, so when I come back, I think, 10 years later, I think he would have grown up a lot. So I think it works for an actor to play him. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely pressure, because these soap fans, man, they are very passionate, and they're if they don't like something, they let you know. And nowadays with Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and everything, Snapchat, Periscope, they have access to letting us know when they like or don't like something.
Right.
So, you hear from them. So so I definitely was aware of that, and I definitely researched the show. I definitely looked at his work on YouTube and stuff, but I also tried to compartmentalize it and throw it out the window also, because I wanted to make it my own and make it personal to me.
Right.
Of course. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What's the most challenging part of working on General Hospital?
The speed. It shoots unlike anything, any other type of medium. I mean, it's in film or a primetime TV show or basically anything other than a soap. You have multiple takes. They do a wide shot of both actors. Then they do a one shot of the one actor. Then they do the other actor. You do the same scene over and over to get different angles. There's more rehearsal time. There's more discussion with the director. There's just more time in general. A soap, especially nowadays, because they've really cut down on budgeting and whatever, time is money. I mean, to the extreme on a soap. There's only 4 of us left, so, every day we could shoot between 2 to 3 episodes. So it's the amount of material that we're filming in a day, and the rate at which we're shooting it is just insane. I mean, people come on the show that are guest starring or, they're playing a recurring and their mind is blown. They're like, this is how much you guys do in a day? I mean, that's how I felt when I came on. I was like freaking out because I got the whole first week I was shooting, I had a packet this thick for every day of the week. I was like, when I would finally get the first packet down, I'm like, all right, good. Wait, but then the next day I have another packet that looks like that. I mean, it's crazy. But you kind of just, it's like the best training as an actor because your brain just learns how to do it. Your brain just learns how to memorize things quickly. And that was always a huge struggle that I had, was learning material, memorizing stuff. That was my biggest issue as an actor. And I got to say, this has like changed that completely for me. Now today I literally went in, I shot today and I did not have my script from last night. We just moved and my script got misplaced. So I was just hoping that I didn't have a lot of material today so that I could learn it this morning when I got on the set. I got on the set, I had a ton of material. It was terrifying. And the director was like, wait, really, dude? You didn't have this? Oh my God, you're gonna be okay? Like, they were worried for me because it was a lot. And man, I had about an hour. I went down to my dressing room. I just learned it, and it stuck. Like, it's crazy that your brain has the capability it's like a muscle. And I didn't believe that shit when I got on. I was like, I think you either can memorize or you can't memorize. Like, you're either good at that or you're not. No, you can train your brain to get better at that, which is pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah, that's interesting. It sounds like, you've done 162 episodes, I think, or something like that. It says. So, I mean, the pace of that, it's got to be grueling. That's only since 2015. So, I mean, you talk about trial by fire, and, most people that go to acting school and then maybe they'll do a short or they'll do a feature or whatever, how much time do they literally spend in front of a camera? Probably not much over the course of a year, and you're getting just so much time and interaction in front of the directors, with interacting with other actors, all that type of stuff. Now, one of the things I'm interested in is, you said there's just a ton of dialogue to memorize probably on a regular basis. How much of that, is there a lot of flexibility or any improv that goes on with the soap operas, or is it strictly like they stick to the script kind of thing?
Yeah. They do allow you to improv a little bit, especially as you get to know your character. I mean, when I first got on the show, I tried to stick pretty much word for word to what the writers did, because that's just kind of how I've been trained. Respect the writing, they wrote it this way for a reason. Every word is important. As I've gotten more comfortable playing Dillon and kind of making him my own, I am allowing myself to be a little more free with the dialogue. As I've gotten to know my character, now I feel like I embody, how he talks and things now. And sometimes we'll get a scene and I'll say, hey, is there any way I can change this to this just to make it sound a little more natural, or, a little younger or hipper or whatever? And they'll say, yeah. And then sometimes if you're in a scene and you forget your lines, you have to improv, and they would rather you improv a little bit if you mess up than go, oh wait, we got to start over, because that's funny. So yes, to answer your question, there's always a little bit of embellishing and a little bit of improv, but I think all of it, most of the actors and writers and producers want us to, stick pretty close to what's written on the page.
Cool. Yeah, very cool. What would you say is the biggest thing in your life that's changed since getting this role?
But gosh, man, literally everything. Like I said, I was working every job I could, barely paying my rent. A month before I got this, my car basically blew up on the highway because I didn't have money to change the oil. I had a meltdown with my parents on the phone. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, when is this going to happen? And and that's crazy because it hadn't even been that long. It felt like an eternity, but really I'd only been struggling and auditioning for 5 years. I mean, there's actors that go 30 years and don't book anything. So I don't mean to sound like a diva by being like, I was auditioning for 5 years and wasn't getting anything, because I mean, that's really, in the grand scheme of things, that's not that long. But when you can't afford to eat, it feels a lot longer than 5 years. You know what I mean? So there were definitely some struggles, but honestly, I'm really, really grateful that I went through, the hardships of it, because now I appreciate it. I see some actors just book something so fast right off the gate. Mm-hmm. And I think that, I don't know if there's the same like respect for having the job when you just get lucky like that. You know what I mean? I'm kind of glad that I had to work really, really hard to get something, because it just taught me a lot about being an adult and being a responsible actor and all that stuff. What was your question again? I think I just started rambling.
I was saying, how has your life changed since you've landed the role?
My life has changed. I mean, financially, I'm not a millionaire now or anything like that, but I'm definitely way more comfortable than I was. I don't have to work, other jobs that I don't want to work. I have that freedom to just focus on my acting and my music, which is great. It's changed because I finally have this. It's changed because I feel so good about my time every day is being spent growing as an artist, rather than, working a 9-to-5 job that has nothing to do with what I want in life. I'm, like you said, I get to be on camera, several times a week and just play around and experiment and try stuff and get paid for that. I mean, that is every actor's dream, So I still have to pinch myself. I mean, I'll be walking off set and I'm like, I cannot believe that this is so awesome. It's so awesome. And I had no idea that, being on a soap would be this great. Like I wanted to be an actor for sure, but I wasn't targeting being on a soap. I wasn't like seeking down every soap audition, but now that I'm on one, I can totally see why people end up having a full career, on a soap, because it's, like I said, the schedule's amazing, the money is great, the flexibility, and just getting to work. So many actors don't get the chance to just work all the time, so
sure.
My life has changed drastically. The fan base is amazing, and it's allowed me to do other projects like my music stuff or other independent films. And now there's an audience that's automatically built in, and they'll help me promote it and get it out there and blast it out to the world. And it's great.
Sure.
It's really great.
Well, outside of General Hospital right now, what other work? Do you have any indie films coming up or anything that was recently released?
Yes. I did an independent movie that I had a small part in called Theater 9 that's going to be coming out soon. I just did a season 2 of a web series called Last Life, which is like a supernatural kind of web series that actually just aired within the past few months, but that did really well. They have a pretty big built-in fan base with the sci-fi genre. Let's see, what else have I done recently? I'm actually in the process of reading a bunch of scripts because I would like to fund my own project and produce my own movie or something and play something that's very different from anything I've played before, just to grow as an actor and experiment and be in charge of something. And then I've been working on my music stuff, which has been really great. I actually just got to sing in the opening of the Daytime Emmys, which was really, really exciting. And then I just shot the episode of The Nurses Ball, which is once a year on General Hospital. They kind of have this like talent show where, some of the characters perform. So this year I actually got to sing, and it's I'm really excited for that to air because it was all choreographed, and it was kind of like, it reminded me of being back in theater, like it was on stage, and so I'm excited about that.
When will that air? Do you know what the air date for that will be?
I think it's the week of May 21st through whatever that week is. So around May 20th and on. It's like a week-long show. So
okay,
that'll be really cool. And then I've been staying busy with these fan events, man. They've been flying me all over the country. I'm hosting the fan events now with Laura Wright, who plays Carly on the show. Mm-hmm. Her and I are hosting these events where basically we go to different cities, and the fans in the area of General Hospital can come and meet us and take pictures, and we sign autographs, and we do a Q&A from the stage, and I walk around with the mic, and people can ask questions, and that's been a lot of fun too. It's kind of, I've gotten better at talking in front of people, and hosting is something that's always been kind of interesting to me as well. So I'd like to maybe dabble in that in the future as well.
Very cool. Where's the next event taking place? Is there one scheduled?
Yes, you guys can get all of the fan events on my webpage, robertpalmerwatkins.com, under the events section. I believe the next one, I'm doing one in Marco Island actually in 2 weeks, which is going to be really cool. It's raising awareness and raising money for autism, kids with autism and other special needs. So that's going to be really cool, and you can buy tickets for that as well if you go to my events page on my website.
Awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Robert, I almost called you Dillon.
I just I'll respond to either one. So that's fine.
Robert, really appreciate you coming on and hanging with us tonight. I think this was really interesting for us. Like I said, we've never really had a connection to talk with anybody on a soap before, so it was really interesting to get that insight about what an actor's life is like on a soap opera. So yeah, thanks for hanging with us. If you want to give any information, I know you already gave your website. If there's anywhere else the fans can come check you out, let them know.
Yes, so you guys can follow me on my Facebook fan page, which is Robert Palmer Watkins. My Instagram, which is Robert Palmer Watkins. My Twitter is Robert P. Watkins. Like I said, the website, I try to keep that up to date with upcoming events and news articles and stuff like that. That's robertpalmerwatkins.com. My Snapchat is Rob Watkins. I'm learning how to use Snapchat. God, there's like too many forms of technology. And then the last thing I wanted to mention was something really cool that I'm really excited about that we're doing in July 5th through the 9th. I'm doing a retreat in Costa Rica. We're allowing 30 people to sign up, anybody over the age of 13, families, singles, friends, whatever. But it's going to be really cool because I'm partnering with my fitness trainer. He's a celebrity trainer, Jordan Rude. He's also my brother-in-law. And then Jennifer Grace, who is my life coach and mentor. And we kind of came together to do this retreat in Costa Rica. It's going to be awesome. You get to stay in a villa. Everything's included once you buy your ticket, and we're going to be doing different activities. I'm going to be doing acting and music stuff. She's going to be doing life coaching, yoga, meditation with everybody. And then Jordan's going to be having workouts. And it's called a digital detox. So basically when you check in, you have to put your phone and your computer laptop. You have to check it in. We lock it away, and you're just free from all of that shit for 4 days. Which is, I know that I need that very badly right now because I feel like every day I'm just looking at a screen all day long. So it's just going to be nice to reconnect with who you are, and I think it's going to be life changing. So everybody, please, if you're interested in that, spread the word. You can get tickets at. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the link right now. It's Jennifer Grace. That's JenniferGrace.com/Costa Rica/. So you can get tickets there. It's gonna be awesome. I really appreciate you guys having me on today, and hopefully we can do it again sometime.
For sure, Robert. All those links and everything you talked about will be in the show notes on our site. And thanks again for coming out, and we'll be catching up with you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You
Cheers.
too.